It's here, it's finally here, and it's way better than BFA, especially when it comes to alts, and even more so when it comes to leveling. Hell yeah! So what you gotta do is bookmark this video, cause in it we will talk about the easy and quick to pick up way to level from 150, then 50 to 60, and also a more optimal way with more preparations to level quicker from 1 to 50, and of course from 50 to 60, because you know, depending on when you see this video, Shadowlands might not have been released. All of these are timestamped below. We made this video in collaboration with Mephisto. He's a speed leveling guru and an awesome guy all around, and we will have more details on him later in the video. Love you, Des. You rock. You're gonna need add-ons for leveling, and what better way to get them than with the brand new Curse Forge. All the WoW UI modifications and add-ons you will see in the video can be downloaded through the app. The layout is similar to what we used prior on the Twitch app. In terms of layout, even better in my opinion. It's easy to access, easy to install, quick and simple, and you can always close the app after you're done. You can support us by getting the app through the link in the description. Thank you to them for sponsoring this video, and now let's get into it. There are multiple ways to level, and everyone has their favorite thing, be it dungeon spamming, pet battles, PvP, or good old-fashioned questing. The simple way to do it can sometimes be what people want, even if it's not the fastest. Obviously, when leveling, you want to pick a class, one you would be interested in leveling. Now, if you just want something maxed for farming purposes or heritage armor or whatever, then the class might not matter, so pick what you like, because the speed in leveling might only matter if you were speed leveling and could play all of the specs equally. The ratios are not important if you're just looking to quickly level, and even more so, not important if you want a specific race regardless of the bonuses it has. First of all, if you are Alliance, the Heirloom vendor is in Ironforge in the Halls of Explorers, and the Horde one is on top of the Orgrimmar Gate or in the Old Undercity. The Heirlooms have changed, and now instead of bonus XP, they have set bonuses. So it's best if you just get the armor set first, since it activates all of them, even if you are not that interested in min-maxing. Having the bonuses will make your rested XP deplete 30% slower and another 30% if your set is full, plus more health and mana regen out of combat, a burst of damage around you if you level, and the fact that they level with you if you upgrade them from the vendor by buying the appropriate upgrade items. Unless you already have them leveled up, in which case, let's go to the next point. The bare bones minimal necessary add-ons to have is really only one, and that is Azeroth Autopilot. You may have used this before, you may know about it from someone else, but this add-on makes leveling really be on autopilot and lets you enjoy Netflix or our other videos. Hey! Class guides, news shows, podcasts, we got them all, baby, yeah! But let's be real now. The add-on might not always offer the best and fastest route, but it definitely offers the simplest and with the least effort involved into getting things done. Plus the boys always work on the best route anyway, even if it's sometimes a little bit outdated. This is perfect if you don't want to bother yourself with details and managing consumables and specific quest routes and so on. Once you have everything set up, you will start at level 1 and even have the option to level in the new Exile Reach zone. This applies to standard races and classes. Allied races and hero classes will skip this zone. There's nothing much to say aside from this zone being gorgeous as fuck and also fairly streamlined. It's meant as a tutorial, so there isn't much to say about it except enjoy it. Once you reach or start at level 10, just follow the Azeroth Autopilot, which will take you to Chromie for Chromie time, or through BFA if this is your first character you are leveling ever. If you go through Chromie time, which is more likely, you will just be taken to Warlords of Draenor. Turns out this might not be the best zone right now to start with, but it's still one of the fastest in the game. And by best I mean world record speed leveling hierarchy. You don't care for that since that's why you are here in the simple section. Warlords is still one of the best leveling experience. Since you have Azeroth Autopilot, simply following it will set you up. On your main, you will have to do the zones in their designed order, aka you will start the questline in the Maw, and then move through Bastion that will end with the Necrotic Wake dungeon, then move you to Maldraxxus. After Maldraxxus, you will go to the Ferries, cause that's the normal course of action, and end the whole thing with Revendreth. If you level an alt and just want to do the zones differently, you will be able to choose after the Maw scenario. You can spend more time in the zone you want, doing the side quests and getting your Covenant ready, so up to you. But maybe you do want to take it more seriously. Let's check the min-maxing details then. If you want to pick what's best, then we need to be a bit more specific. Going with the warrior, you want to pick Fury as your spec of choice and follow this talent route. Fury is fast-paced, mobile, and more importantly has sustain and high consistent damage. Perfect for leveling. Has short bursty cooldowns and spells which all work incredibly nice when it comes to leveling. Also, once you reach 20 and have War Mode, enable it and select Blood Rage, Barbarian and Enduring Rage as the best PvP talents to have active in the open world. For the Paladin, Retribution is the go-to. The talents are pretty straightforward, mostly revolving around AoE options to help you when fighting more than one mob at a time. Considering individual elites are not as strong, this setup should work just fine. For the War Mode talents, get Unbound Freedom, Divine Punisher, and Law and Order, and you are set. Bring forth the Wrath of the Light. The Death Knight has Frost as its best spec to level, and yeah, you will be dual wielding way faster this way. Way more than Unholy and Blood, considering, one is a tank and one has a big setup when it comes to its damage. The talents are pretty straightforward, and for the PvP ones, get Transfusion for the sustain, Chill Streak for the insane cleave, and Necrotic Aura for overall damage increase. Don't forget your Runeforge if you ain't got money for those enchants. For the Hunter, to nobody's surprise, Beastmaster is the way to go with, again, pretty standard talents. Beastmaster is clearly the easy, get in, do damage, get out spec, plus, obviously, your pet would be doing the tanking for you, making health issues a non-issue. Hunting Pack, Dire Beast, Hawk, and High Explosive Trap are the best PvP talents for outdoor leveling, so have fun, you crazy 2-button mashing nerd. Just kidding, you don't press buttons cause your pet kills everything, hey! For Shaman it's a little weird. Restoration seems to be the best one to start with, and you can still continue with this talent route. It has better procs, has a lot of healing, is ranged, and the base damage for the spells is just very high. But I felt Enhancement was getting better after something like, level 20, and might end up being the better spec in the second half of your leveling journey. Plus you have all these new talents to play with, which is pretty fun if you ask me. We would recommend going with the enhancement at least from level 20 and picking up Ride the Lightning and Spectral Recovery with Swelling Waves as the last PvP talent for War Mode. Picking up the Monk, you want to go with Windwalker. The spec is mega fun, super fast-paced, enjoyable, and hey, you have the Monk quest every now and again for even more bonus XP. The talents are what you would see in dungeons normally. There's a lot of utility you could be playing with, while the War Mode brings Turbo Fists, Alpha Tiger, and Pressure Points as some of the best options out there. Go! Fist your way to 60. Druid also has two viable specs depending on how you want to play. Pull everything and smash them to the ground while being an immortal bear? Go with Guardian and get these talents. This should set you up for non-stop questing, no breaks, no stakes, no cakes. For as long as your damage as a tank can kill stuff quick enough where you can pull more than normal, stay bear. Sharpened Claws, Raging Frenzy, and Demoralizing Roar will be your PvP talents in War Mode. And if you get tired of bear or you just want to kill one or two mobs at a faster rate, go Feral. The talents are what you see on the screen right now. Feral adds the single target damage component that tanks and bear as well struggle with normally, and it's always cool to have options and switch around so you don't get bored. For War Mode, go with King of the Jungle, Rip and Tear, and Leader of the Pack. Solid Feral talents. Maybe gank some fools. Nah, that just wastes time from leveling. not efficient. When talking rogue, we talk outlaw. The talents might be a bit different than what you will be using at max level or maybe have seen so far, but hey, that's what our guides are for. Am I right? No, I'm right. Not much to say here. Rogues are known for having tools and escapes, so you will never be in a shit situation. Plus, with cheap tricks, death from above, and plunder armor, you will be able to deal with war mode shit as well. Those pesky shenanigans Alliance or Horde. But mostly Alliance, I'm just kidding. Next on the list, Demon Hunter. Yeah, nobody's surprised here to know that Havoc is the way to go, and Demon Hunter might be one of the easiest classes to level. The talents and buffs and nerfs keep happening, not just for Havoc, but the standard build should do you just good. For the war mode options, Demonic Origins, Mana Rift, and Rain from Above should give you some awesome tools to deal with any shit that comes your way. Getting into the Clothies, Warlock Affliction to be exact, is maybe a surprise if you haven't checked the spec out since BFA. Use the talents on the screen, and if any buffs happen, maybe change them around, although most of the times that will not matter as much. For the war mode options, Essence Drain is pretty cool, Demon Armor gives you the defense you need, and Rampant Affliction is, well, big AoE damn! We still have Priest to go, and Shadow is your choice here. Hey, new changes, new spec, try it out before you get 60. Use these talents on the screen, and once you get 20 and enable your war mode, you can play with Void Shield, Driven to Madness, and Void Origins. Shadow has been changed a lot, and taking the time to level through one might get you a better understanding of how endgame will be. And last but not least, cause buffs, Arcane Mage. Oh yeah, Arcane Mage. Arcane Mage. Didn't see this one coming, did ya? Arcane is simple, straightforward. The talents are pretty cool and give you a nice wizardy feel. It has almost no setup with the recent changes, and you can just go into a pack of quest mobs and just fuck shit up. At 20, get Arcane Empowerment, Temporal Shield, and Torment of the Weak for your defensive needs and some serious kiting needs. Arcane has been buffed, maybe not yet on par with the other two at max level, but while leveling, superior nonetheless. There are more heirlooms you can get than just the armor set, and you may have noticed them at the vendor. Some are no longer obtainable, like the role-specific trinkets which only dropped in WoD, Mythic Dungeon bosses, but you may have looted them and not realized, so we will include them in the video. Although not necessary for the set bonuses, the heirloom rings are good additions, mostly because you can enchant them and not have to replace them. The first general ring that works for all classes is the Dread Pirate Ring, which can be obtained as the prize in the Stranglethorn fishing event. If you never did the fishing event or fishing altogether, there are entire articles on Wowhead to read and online written guides that would make this video longer than my dad's disappointment in my career choices. So we won't include those details in this guide, but you can definitely find them on Wowhead. Next ring slot will be one of the naval ship rewards from Worlds of Draenor Garrison mission tables. There are rings for each main stat. The strength one is Captain Sanders' Returned Band. The agility is Admiral Taylor's Loyalty Ring, and the intellect variant is the Signet of the 3rd Fleet. Again, getting these requires specific follower setup with specific traits, and there are guides on them on Wowhead which you should check if you haven't obtained them already, because there's a lot to talk about them as well. Unless you have them, in which case, I still don't have mine. Speed is everything, and you will see that more throughout the video. The Manari Training Amulet is the best neck you can get with an active to give you a boost of speed. This can help you get out of caves and deep questing zones where you got lost tracking that one last mob. You can get this from a Legion mission from the Order Hall called Assault on Felfire Armory, and this is essentially the reward for completing the mission successfully. For the trinkets, two of the main ones which you can stack based on your class are Discerning Eye of the Beast for those mana classes and Swift Hand of Justice otherwise. These are easily obtainable from the vendor and can be a good default if you don't have the WoD ones that cannot sadly be obtained anymore. If you do have them, the Grauntooth Warhorn for instance is pretty cool and a big boost. This works for any and all strength classes, and if you have it, use it. The agility counterpart is Infallible Tracking Charm, and the intellect one is Orb of Void Sight. Sucks if you don't have them, but the default ones will still give you a nice boost. you should probably get the weapons as well. We won't go into super details, but the obvious ones, the Dignified Headmaster's Charge, is good for all casters, and that pesky Resto Shaman. Essentially, pick your weapon based on the main stat, and if it has crit and haste, it's usually the better one. There are enchants you want for pretty much all specs you get. They have general bonuses, mostly related to stats and procs and movement speed. Some of them, like the belt, just adds a socket slot, so it's not really an enchant. The shoulder slot has different options for different specs, and as some other entries to this list will not work until certain level brackets, so keep that in mind and keep them in your bags. The strength is the Greater Tiger Fang inscription. Yes, it's an inscription and not an actual enchant. The agility is the Greater Tiger Claw inscription, and for intellect you go with Greater Crane Wing inscription. Leatherworking and tailoring make some boosts to pants as well. Get the Angerhide leg armor for strength specs, the Shadow Leather leg armor for agility users, and Ghostly Spell Thread for intellect specs. Lastly, we are looking at weapons. Enchant weapon is Crusader, is the go-to for strength. Crow's Nest scope or any other scope you can make or get for hunter range weapons, and Elemental Force for the rest of the specs. Yep, even DK uses these enchants apparently, so screw Runeforging. For your sockets, mostly the belt, there are also amazing gems you can get. Starting with level 1, get either Chaotic Sky Flare Diamond or the Accurate Dreadstone, the latter lasting until level 40, at which point you can go with Deadly Deep Camarine? Jesus, man, I haven't learned proper English. It's on the screen though. And that works from level 40. Chaotic Shadow Spirit Diamond is another one that works from level 32 onwards, and if you want a main stat boost from level 32, get Reverberating Primal Diamond for strength, Agile Primal Diamond for agility, clearly, and for intellect, Burning Primal Diamond. Some of these consumables will devalue over time, with others obviously working only after a certain level. You can have them in your bags in the meantime. There are also consumables that are usually evergreen and will be ideal for the 50 to 60 leveling bracket also. The gun shoes are always ideal for quick zone traverse, and if I'm not mistaken, you can travel around 360 yards based on this Mephisto's calculations and testing, and seeing as how the Shadowlands brings a marker towards your quest objective accompanied by a distance indicator, it's a godsend. Speed potions like Lightfoot and Skystep are also ideal to boost your A to B travel, while Goblin Glider kits are self-explanatory, especially good when add-ons will tell you to do that instead of walking down the mountain path. Greater Flasks and Superior Battle Potions are always good for damage boosts if you are an alchemist, and especially if you have leftovers from the BFA expansion. The Bear Tartar food from Legion is one of the best food buffs for move speed. Depending on your class, you might want the War Scrolls of Battle Shout, Intellect, and Fortitude, if you don't have the respective class buffs already. If you still have service medals from the War Fronts and World Quests, buying some Draw Out of 10 Lands potions for your mains and alts will give you extra boosts of XP. Drums will be iffy since some don't work past level 50, but Drums of the Mountain seem to work right now. Drums of Fury also are a thing, unless you are a Shaman, Hunter, or Mage. This, plus more unique items from engineering that can compensate or replace some of the ones you may or may not have, can offer big boosts of speed. For now, these should be just fine, but feel free to explore your professions even more. You can still get Azeroth Autopilot. We talked with Des Mephisto about it, and with such high octane speed leveling strategy, the add-on is not always optimal and some routes differ. Where they don't, it might be good. If anything, it adds extra options in skipping cinematics, instant quests, pickup and drop-off, things like that. Leatrix also helps with this and has even more options than Azeroth Autopilot. You can browse its menu for what your experience will be based on your preferences, and that can be what you want. Abandoned Zone Quest is a good option if you outlevel a zone and still have a bunch of quests picked up and you can just punt them all away at once. Other than this, up to you, and hey, you can check our add-ons video if you like our cool, slick, sexy UI. The first 10 levels are pretty straightforward. Just follow the questline in your starting zone or Exile Reach, because it's all linear. Depending on what you picked, then hop on the route based on your faction. Don't forget, you can train for faster mount speed at level 20 and flying at level 30. As Horde, start with Stone Talon Mountains. From the Ashenvale quest, we're here to do one thing, maybe two. Then you continue on the path the quest takes you on until you get to the southwest part of the zone, Stone Talon Mountain zone, and finish the hub there. Once you are done, move on to the Silver Pine Forest and you continue through the grueling RP as well and stop at the Yiddimus part. Then move into the WoD intro and to the Frostfire Ridge zone until you hit level 40. You can pick up treasures on your way, and I think the Azeroth autopilot worked just fine there. Some treasures don't seem to give XP though, and all of them have had their XP gains nerfed, but they're just on your path and it would be a waste not to pick them up. It's still pretty valuable. Move on to Talador next and then Gorgrond until you hit level 50. Gorgrond might be laggy right now since previously it used to be the best leveling zone in the game and everyone and their mom is there at this point. For Alliance, start at the Eastvale logging camp once you are done with the intro zone. Might be easier for humans, clearly. You have quests here that will put you on the path to get to Redridge Mountains, which is the next zone you will tackle. Clear the zone and follow with Duskwood. There are quite a few quests here, and once again, following the questline will assure some proper XP gains. Once you are done with that as well, move on to WoD, do the intro questline similar to the Horde, do the Shadow Moon Valley quests until level 40, and afterwards go back to the old zones and start the quests in Loch Modan, and if you still need experience to get to 50, finish with Gorgrond. When leveling for the first time in Shadowlands, you don't really have much of a choice in the path. The main choice is, do you just do the story, fill in with the side quests once you are done if it isn't enough to get to 60, or do you do the side quests from the main quest hubs and get 60 before you finish the story? Seems like with the proper buffs, potions and all of the XP gains, the story should be just enough to get you to 60 though. As of this recording, alt leveling seems to be the same as your main. You can make it simple and follow Azeroth autopilot as well. The boys are pretty confident in its route, although our boy Dez has gone less than 6.5 hours simply doing the normal route. Things might change once we get to test the 50-60 some more, but then we are talking about speed leveling to set world records, and if you are already at that point, then this video might not be enough. Talking about Des and his contribution, all of the information has been tested by this Mephisto, one of, if not the fastest speed leveler out there. You might know Des from our previous leveling guides or even seen him on our podcast. The man is a leveling guru, and if you have any questions, make sure to follow his stream at twitch.tv/DesMephisto. Not only that, on his stream he levels pretty much all the time and sets records every now and again. He also does charity streams and a lot of good works towards autism to raise awareness and help people affected and those around them. We cannot oversell this man enough. Des, you are a gem for our community and humans all over the world. Once again, would like to thank CurseForge for their support, and if you are interested in knowing more about them, you can check the video on the top right or just click the link in the description and check the app for yourself. Thank you to our patrons for supporting our videos and all of the content that we do. Guys, you make this kind of work possible and we really appreciate it. If you, dear viewer, found this video useful and you do want to support us a little bit more, you can check the link down below. You'll find our Patreon page, you'll find our merch page, which can get you t-shirts like this with other types of designs hand-drawn by Marcelian himself. And also a big shout out to our Twitch supporters as well, subs and gifters and donors and everything there. You guys have really helped us out through these trying times. And yeah, all of the things that we do on our channel are pretty much streamed as well. So if you're interested, check the twitch.tv/Marcelian Online channel. And with that out of the way, hope this helped. Keep it bookmarked and tell us how fast you got to level 60. See you around.
I've been loving it then, I still love it now. Still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. Getting better every day, let me show you how. Cause still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. It's getting harder to stay, but at the end of the day, it's a guilty pleasure, so just log in and play. Whether it's classic or retail, I'ma do a /bow. Still, I play WoW.